Hello, everyone. We will start. Thank you for joining the shiur. And we will start now. Who will join later will join. So this Shabbat is Parshat Behar. And this parasha starts with a command to do Shemitah and Yovel. And the Torah emphasizes, וידבר אדוני אל משה בהר סיני לאמור. Hashem speak to Moses in Mount Sinai to be said, and then it's continue speak to Bnei Israel and tell them, when you will come to the land which I'm giving you, and the land keep the Shabbat LaHashem. The land will stop work for 1 year every 7 years. 6 שנים תזרע שדך, 6 years you are going to plant and to work your field, and 6 years you are collect the crops, and in the 7 years it's called Shabbat Shabbaton יהיה לארץ, which means the land should not work for 1 year. And we suppose not to, in the year of Shemitah, we suppose to not do any kind of work that is connected to the work of the land. Whatever we collected in the 6 years, we have collected, and then we let the field to work, to not be worked for entire year. And then in the 8th year, we are starting to plant again, and it takes almost 1 year to see the crop, so depend on the crop, which means we are actually commanded to not use the fruits of Shemitah at all. And the Chachamim said that it's, if you calculated the time of the Shemitah, it's really from the 6 years we were supposed to eat for the fruit of the 6th year. Also, in the year for the year number 6, and then the Shnat HaShemitah, the year number 7, and then also in the year number 8, because we not planted anything before. The Torah tell us that Hashem will give the blessing in the 6 years to the farm, that it will be enough until the crops of the 8 years will start come. And here we all again seeing command from Hashem to stop and not doing anything on the year number 7, similar to Shabbat. 6th day we walking in our work, but in the 7th day we are stop our work. We're supposed to sit and not do any kind of material work, only to be busy with spiritual work, to prepare everything in advance from Yom Shishi, from Thursday, to start to prepare. And then in the 7 years, in the 7 days, we are not going to cook. Everything need to be prepared from the 6th day. And as we know, usually it's until Sunday we are getting the same. Usually we're not making new food until the seventh year, until Sunday. And the same thing with when we're talking about the land. So the land in Israel, we know that there are some mitzvot which are connected only to the land of Israel. This mitzvot will not exist anywhere. For example, to do Shemitah, people who live out of Israel, they barely heard about it. Why? Because it's not belong to them. This halakha is only for the land of Israel. So let's repeat what the halakha. When Am Israel reached the land of Israel, immediately after they did Shemitah the first time, they started to count 6 years. And in the 7 years, everyone stopped, did not do any kind of work. All the crops of the 7 years was crops that belong to the year before, or something which they bought or imported. They not used. Everyone used to take their fields, close it, put a gate, not entering for 1 year to work the field. And this was kept for many years. And the command is further continue that every 7 weeks like that, then we have the year of 50 called Yovel. And in this Yovel, in this the year number 50, there is also special rules. For example, the main rule of the year of Yovel, that if someone was selling his land to selling his land to someone, after 50 years, it has to come back to the same person, which means when Am Yisrael entered to the land of Israel, they divided the land for 12 inheritance. Each tribe received one area, and then they divided it for families. Each family received one piece of land. And if someone wanted to sell this land, he could not really sell it. It was more like leasing it for up to 50 years. But it's not 50 years from the time that they signed the contract. It was 50 years for the general counting of the land. Which means if someone come to me in year number 5, the Torah said that we had to calculate how many years he remained until the year of Yovel, the year of 50, what we call the Jubilee. And in the year of 50, the land used to come back to its original owner, which was supposed to receive it to his family. And that's why they kept that the land in each area the Torah kept was dedicated for one tribe. More of the things we see with the halachot of the Shemitah and the Jubilee and Yovel, that in the year of Shemitah, in the year of 7, if someone was sold as a slave, and it used to be such situation, for example, if someone was stealing from one each other and he didn't have how to pay, the Torah said that they used to sell him for a slave until he pays what he is supposed to pay. And the year number 7, it was a year of freedom. And after 7 years, which means sometimes it could be for 1 or 2 years or 3 years, depending on the year, on the Shemitah, on the day when he sold as a slave, he was reached the owner of the same slave who bought him, told him you are free, and he had a decision might to stay, and if he stayed, there was an entire ceremony that he was taking him to the bedding and making a hole in his, making a pierce in his ear, and but originally he was supposed to be relieved. Only if he wanted, they used to do that. However, the same one that even not sold, not released, same slave that, let's say that someone reached to the year number 7 and the Shemitah, and he decided that he doesn't want to get released. He said, like the Torah said, אהבתי את אדוני, את אשתי ואת בניי, לא יצא חופשי. I love my master, I love my kids and wife, which the master gave me, which usually in that time they used to give to the slave a lady to get married with. I don't want to get free. And then the Torah tells us that we'll take him to the Beit Din, to the Elokim, and in front of the door, he used to pierce his ear as a sign that he didn't want to become a free man. However, even the same guy, in the year of 50, in the year of Jubilee, he would become released anyhow, because no one is able to buy forever someone who is slave already of God. And obviously the Torah gives us a deep message here. We know today in Eretz Israel they're still keeping the Shmitot, but Jubilee we don't know yet. We don't know the calculation of what is exactly year of Jubilee is lost from us. Hence, by the way, in every year in Yom Kippur, in Motzei Yom Kippur, in the end of Yom Kippur, we are blowing shofar. Actually, the blowing shofar is not required in every Yom Kippur. The Torah commanded to do it only in the year of the Jubilee. And the blowing of the shofar, it was a sign of freedom. However, we see that we are still blowing the shofar every year, which means because we don't know which year is exactly is the Jubilee, and hence we are blowing every year. And we'll try to speak about the inner side of this mitzvah. In the previous year, we discussed about what is the times of the Omer. During these 7 weeks, we also have similar concept of counting 7 times 7. And in the year of 50, we are actually, in the day of 50, it's the day of the celebrating of the Shavuot. We received the Torah, and we explained last shiur that is all one process. That since Am Yisrael came out from Egypt, the Egypt in Hebrew, it's Mitzrayim, which means boundaries, and every one of us, once he came out from they had to go to a process of counting the 7 weeks until the time of we reaching to the Matan Torah to receive the Torah. And it's a process of us getting a new reality until we are ready to receive the Torah. I'll explain it again. We'll repeat it in short. There are in every human 3 intellects and 7 attributes. Together they are the 10 Sefirot that every human has. God created the world in these 10 attributes. But there are 7 which are the main that leading us, which is called the 7 emotions. Every one of us lead by his intellect, but usually what is ruling him, it's how he feels. And this is what makes him to do things or to move in which direction. And hence the 7 emotions are very important. For example, if someone understands something but is not feel it, he obviously will not do it with in a whole way, in a complete way. He will need, first of all, to feel that he wants to do something, then his doing will be more perfect, more strong, because he is already attached for it emotionally. But if someone just lead by his intellect, obviously it will not be his action. And the same is the concept of the Sefirat of the woman. There are 7 attributes, each of them conclude from 7 by itself, 7 weeks. And each Shabbat, each week symbolizes one attribute that the person try and change himself to start feel like the divinity want him to feel. As we explained, there is, the Tanya explained and bring from the Zohar, Neshamot ani asiti, that the Torah said about every Jew, that I gave him 2 neshamot, 2 souls. One is the nefesh behemit, the animal soul, the essential soul, his own feeling and his own attributes. And there is also another 7 attributes, another neshama, which composed from 10 attributes, 3 intellects and 7 emotions, that it's the divine soul. This neshama getting excited from different things. These 2 neshamot getting excited from different things. The animal soul will be excited from day-to-day mundane things, like money, like food, like any kind of pleasure. But the divine soul, its ambitious is different. It's ambitious to do charity, to do good, to be connected to the spiritual side, and they have a constant battle. Each of them fighting, that's what creating our inner fight, if to do that way or to do that way, to do what I want or to do what is right. And the ability to receive the Torah is by bringing upon ourselves the 7 attributes, 7 divine attributes, that they will become our real emotion. For example, if one of us was getting excited in the beginning of the journey from one thing, after he started to apply his intellects, the wisdom, understanding, and the knowledge that God gave him, he will be able to change his own attributes because he already started to think and to know and to be able to process information which immediately can change what he feels. Knowledge creates also trigger our feelings. If we know that someone discuss about us nice, obviously we'll start to feel nice about it. And the same thing, if we know and understand more about godliness, we will be able to want to be like him. Obviously, no one can be like God, but we're talking about to cleave to his way. When someone learning Torah more and more, and he understand, and he already understand it so much that he know it, what create every kind of mitzvah, what good it's creating in the world, every kind of speech of Torah, it's immediately, slowly, not immediately, but it's immediately will be some effect. And slowly, it will change about how he feels about the action. That's why the tzaddikim, for example, when they do mitzvot of Hashem, they do it with a great joy, or with a great power, or with a big strength, and they don't really feel any kind of thing that stop them. Why? Because they know already what is the real value of the mitzvot or the Torah. And hence, when they do it with the entire emotion. And this is something which need to be purchased. It's not immediate. And this is the 7 weeks of Omer that every year that remind us that we have a very important work by going from the boundaries, from being boundary person with boundaries, until becoming a free people when we receive the Torah. And the work is to start and try to understand more the ways of God and apply his attributes, which mean to arouse the divine soul, which is with us, to be the one that really in control on the body, control of our life. And then what is created after the person reached and completed 7 to clean his 7 attributes and make them to be filled with the 7 upper attributes, which means the 7 divine attributes. By this way, he immediately creates himself a vessel to be carrying the Torah. And what is the Torah? The Torah coming from the word Torah, to learn, to teach, which means the Torah came to the Jewish in order to tell us what is the right way to live as per God's will. But how we know? Many people said that what is God's will? But by applying on ourselves the 7 attributes, 7 divine attributes, we are actually reaching to a different level, which we can reveal to us what is wish of God. Because we're already going by the way of doing what God wants in thought, speech, and action, then the emotion of the person become already by themselves divined. And if they are divined already, as it says, the Torah already speak from his mouth. And similarly, there is a command of the Shemitah, which the Torah emphasized to say that is given in Mount Sinai. And the Rashi immediately asked if this command actually connects only to the land of Israel. Why Hashem command to Moshe Rabbeinu to say it already in Mount Sinai? So Rashi asked this question, and he gave immediately the answer that the Torah gives the command of Mount Sinai, command of Shemitah and Yovel in Mount Sinai, to tell us that all the mitzvot have been given already to Moshe. Very unclear answer, because it keeps us in the same question. Why? It's given in, it could given later, but from what we see right now, the connection between Mount Sinai, that in Mount Sinai actually we received the Torah after we count 7 weeks. So the Torah tells us that immediately that the entire details of the Torah, it's to reach to this point of fixing our the circle of the 7 attributes and be able to elevate it to God. And now let's try to go deep into the idea of Shemitah and Yovel and to understand it with connection to this day of the Day of the Orders. So, as we said, the Torah command that during the time that when they entered to Israel, if someone had a slave, after 7 years, he has to release it, and if not, he has to pierce his ear, and then in the year of 50 he will be absolutely free. In the same year of 50 also, all the lands come back to its original owner, complete freedom. So we understand that there is a big message in this idea. The Zohar refers to this. He tried to understand what the Torah, the Torah was called also Mashal HaKadmoni. The first or the primarily analogy. So the entire Torah actually, an entire mitzvot, it's analogy for something. Every command of the Torah is give us some hidden message, some secret message that want us to understand and to grasp by our own. And this is doing the work of the exile, through the work of the Torah and mitzvot, we reach to situation which once we execute it once and twice and etc., then it's already started to our action to enter to our being. And during the time of the Geulah, we suppose we will understand all the secrets behind it. And as the prophet promised that the main thing with the time of the redemption, the Geulah, is that we will understand the hidden things behind all the commands of the Torah, and we'll understand the secrets of Torah like all our big sages. And during the time, and still since the time of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, already Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in the book of the Zohar already written it in a very secret way, so not many people can understand it. But in the last few hundred years, with Torah HaChassidut, it's explained in a way that every one of us, through studies, can reach and understand it. And it's become a mitzvah, a command, Rama v'Nisa, very important mitzvah, to understand the secrets of Torah. What was forbidden before became relieved today. And this is all the part of preparing us to the Mashiach era. So the Zohar tried to explain the analogy of the command of the Shemitah and the command of the Jubilee. And it speaks about a process of person have. As a process the person going through until he become a free man in eyes of the Torah. And what is a free man of eyes of the Torah? It said free from the Yetzer Hara. There is no anymore bad inclination which can affect him. He control all his body, he control his animalistic soul, and not the animalistic soul control him. Same concept like when we come out from Egypt, like we are going out of our boundaries because every one of us receive neshama in body. And each body have its own wishes and its own boundaries. Body by definition is a limited tool. The neshama, when she's not in the body, it's very unlimited. The neshama in a second can go from one side of the world to another side of the world. But body is limited. He can go certain steps before he became tired. And more than that, the body has habits which God created with these habits. For example, there is person who are getting angry fast, someone that getting fed fast. Everyone it's on people that getting happy fast. Every one of us has some attributes and God gave it to us in order that we are living with this body. However, during the time of the person live in his body, he is very much limited in what he can do. And the purpose is to reach to that the life will be filled with the life of neshama, which means because the neshama is unlimited, we actually supposed to bring the unlimited to live and control the limit that the body has. And then actually we discovered something very interesting. The body, if he is the main, he is limit the neshama. But if the neshama is the main, which means the divine soul is the main, then the body cannot live, it cannot limit the neshama. That's why the tzaddikim did miracles which was actually showed that they are totally limitless. There is a story about Admor Emissary, the middle Rebbe, the second Rebbe of Chabad, that one lady came to him and he was not seeing her. She sent a letter in the beginning to say that her husband has been lost. And she's searching him. And she knows that he is somewhere and maybe he ran away from her and she's now aguna, she cannot get a get. So the Rebbe told her, go to so-and-so city. Again, he didn't see her, he just answered her, go in so-and-so city. And she believed, and immediately she traveled to this place. And once she reached there, she reached to the train station, and she didn't know where to go. She reached to the land, and then now what? Reached to the city, now what? Where she will find her husband? And suddenly she sees some old man and tells her what you are searching. She tells him, I'm searching so-and-so man. And he tells her, you can go to this factory, I know him, he's in that factory. She reached to the factory, she see her husband. She went to the rabbi of the city and tell him, my husband is here. The rabbi of the city called the husband, and tells him, are you going back or you want to give her a get? And then he gave her a get and she became free. And then the same lady came back immediately after she received the get. She wanted to thank the Mittler Rebbe, the second Rebbe of Chabad. So she went to the city of Lubavitcher. And this was the first time that she actually seen the Rebbe. Once she see the Rebbe, if I remember correct, she fainted. And after she wake up and she asked her, why you are fainted? He said, this is the same old man that helped me to find him in the factory where I reached to this city. And the Hasidim was shocked. He said, the Rebbe never left the city of Lubavitch in the last few days. He was here only. We seen him 3 times a day in the prayers. We seen him, he was giving shurim, how he was there. So obviously the Mittler Rebbe was not having any kind of boundaries. We heard many stories like this. The Baba Sali, one time, the story is a real story that his drivers tell. One time, Baba Sali was traveled to Jerusalem. Baba Sali used to live in Netivot, which is near Be'er Sheva. And he traveled to Jerusalem with his driver, and he saw that, and they went to some celebration of Torah, and the Baba Sali was telling the driver to do l'chaim, and the driver did, and in the end of the evening, the driver was totally drunk. He could not take the key, and it was at about 2 or 3 in the morning, and the Baba Sali tells him, come, we're going home. The driver said, Rabbi, I cannot drive, please, I am not able to. He said to him, no, you can drive. He was very scared. Then all the people around, they said, Rabbi, please, we'll get you another driver. Let him not drive. He said, no, I want him to drive. Okay, no one could argue with Baba Sali, so they prepared for him some coffee. And he drinks the coffee. After 5-10 minutes, he still feels that he's not wake up. The Baba Sali tells him, no, you ready to drive? He said, no, I'm actually absolutely not fine. So the Baba Sali told him, what you drink? He said, I drink coffee. So Baba Sali said, smile, okay, no, it's not what you need to drink. You need to drink another l'chaim. He gave him another cup. Everyone was scared, but no one could say no to the Baba Sali. It was not look logic to them, but if Baba Sali said, no one would argue. And the Baba Sali make him to the car, to sit in the driver car, and the owner of the house, the host Baba Sali came to the driver and said, do me a favor. I am now, once you enter to the car, I am starting to read the Tehillim. until you reach home. And once you reach home, once you tell you put the Baba Sali home, please give me a call. My heart will not take it. So it said that it exactly took 7 minutes after the car left that he called back to the owner. He said, we reached. He said, how come you reached? The drive from Be'er Sheva to Yerushalayim, it's at least 1 hour. How you reached within 7 minutes? Sorry, from Yerushalayim to Be'er Sheva. He said, I don't know. I just put the car and I drive. I didn't know even what is the time. And there are many stories like this. There is another story that one girl that was here lost in India suddenly saw an old man tells her where to go. And when she reached the Chabad house, she seen the picture of the Rebbe. She said, I just seen him helping me in a very crucial moment. And there are many, many stories like this that we see that actually bodily life, when the tzaddikim are tzaddikim, when the righteous are really righteous, they have no limitation with their body. And how come? And the reason, like we said, because their neshama, their soul, their divine soul, it became the main. And not the body. The body is limited, but the neshama is not limited. So this is exactly the work of a free man. A free man is actually someone which is boundaryless. But how is boundaryless? Because he joined to the infinity. Because he is cleaved to the one existence of God. And for that, there is a process. There is a process of fixing 6 years your work, or 6 days in every week. Then in the 7th day, the day of Shabbat. Shabbat is like the Teshuvah. Person can actually, should stop, should let his soul speak more, and try to take it for the next year, the same thinking, or to take it for the next week ahead. And from this, every time he fixing 7 attributes or 7 elements from his attributes. And by this way, he reaching to the level of, after he fixed his entire attributes, he can become a free man. And this is what the Zohar said. When a person reached a situation which is living boundaries, he still has an opportunity. Not just every Shabbat, it's the opportunity of doing tshuva. The opportunity of doing tshuva, which means that Hashem from above give him the opportunity to do tshuva, to come closer to him. But if he doesn't want it, and he said, I love my master, which means the master of mundane life, the limitation life, I don't want to be free, it's not going to help. His ears will be still controlled by these worldly things and not by the divine things. However, even then, even that time, every neshama can reach to the time of the time of Yovel, the time of the 50 years will be free. This is a parable to the time when Mashiach will come. When Mashiach will come, every one of us will be able to cleave to his divine soul much more. Of course, it will be a walk of getting closer and closer and closer, but it will be accessible to every Jew. Every Jew will be able to reach to a situation which is the unlimited side of him. The neshama, it's in control, and the body only cleave to it, and not like we are today. That the neshama is cleaved to the body and is like in a jail in the body. And Be'ezrat Hashem, this is where we are wishing for. We are wishing to reach to the time, to the world of freedom. World that the neshama is which is boundaryless, it is in control. And this is the purpose of us going through the time of the Galut, by fixing our own attributes through the work of Torah and mitzvot. And in the time of what it's called the 1,000 years, the year number 7, the seventh millennia, which is the Shabbat of all the human, this is the time when a person can reach to his higher and elevated side. Like we are in Shabbat, we are in one side boundaryless. In the same day, we're not working, we are not doing any kind of actions that limit us. We are much more cleaved to our divine soul. But this will be in fulfillment and in full way when Mashiach will come, and this is what we're waiting for. However, as we said, there is ability even to do it today. That's why it's called Talmid Chacham. Tzaddikim, also called by the word of the Zohar, Shabbat. They nickname Shabbat, which means because they already to reach to the level which their seventh attribute are already filled with divine light, and hence they are above the earthly things, the earthly and day-to-day things. This Shabbat, Be'ezrat Hashem, we are in Motzei Shabbat celebrating, we're doing the Hilula of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was the one that brought to us the secret knowledge of Torah. And we are all of us, we know that the time of the redemption will come to the light of the Zohar, which means to the secrets of Torah. This was given us in traditions for years to years. From the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, many neshamot has been written, many tzaddikim has been created, many of people of Am Yisrael already reached to a situation which they are already suppressed the material world with the divine world. And by the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, we are going to see Be'ezrat Hashem the entire redemption in Rabbi Yameinu Amen. I just want to inform everyone before we concluding, that this Saturday night, 8:45, we're going to have Be'ezrat Hashem the Hilula here in the Chabad House Masgar, and we're inviting everyone to come and join us. We'll have a celebration, and we have this Shabbat actually, and everyone invited also to the Shabbat. We have a special guest from Eretz Israel, Rabbi Yehuda Shakir, who is very senior rabbi from Ashdod. He is also connected with the community of the Bnei Israel. He is not Bnei Israel himself, but he's for years working with Bnei Israel, and he coming to help us and to be with us in this day of Lag BaOmer. So everyone, please join us, and you are most welcome. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll see now Mashiach Tzidkenu Rabbi Yameinu Amen, and we will start to feel like a free people who are the neshama is the main. Be'ezrat Hashem Rabbi Yameinu Amen. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.